Hello guys and welcome back to another production notes video, and today we're taking a look at season 4 episode 25. Now this is a very unique episode in which an entire storyline is completely cut from the episode, so there is a lot of things to talk about. We currently have 22 different things for us to talk about, and most of them are to do with this storyline. So if you guys are excited, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and if you got any hype left for the video, make sure to hype the video up if you can. Remember, you only get 3 hypes a week. Use them sparingly, use them on whatever video you want, obviously on other creators, but obviously I want you to use them on me. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys. Let us get in to our first interesting point. So, what is the cut storyline, you might ask? Well, Christy and Sarah, they're in this entire episode. This entire episode, they are in. And they just cut them out completely. The entire storyline was completely cut out. And I'm being honest, I really do feel like Christy just randomly turning up at moments in the episode would have made this so much more entertaining. I understand why they cut the whole storyline, because they had to shift around what was the A, what was the B, what was the C storyline. But it's just a shame at the end of the day because so much good content was lost. Immediately, the mums start to interrogate Christy with questions. They are eager to know what has been going on at the ALDC during their absence. Christy reveals that in crashing the Elite Mums lunch, she discovered that Laurie and Jade had joined their team for the week. This is news to the Select Mums, who were all very curious about Laurie and Jade's whereabouts. When Christy informs them that Sarah didn't dance with Elite Team last week and that they lost, they beg for more details. Christy reluctantly discloses her incident with Abby, and the mums gasp. She called Abby garbage, and she is back? This is madness. So this is just a cheeky little Christy moment. She's basically just filling the Select Mums in on what's been happening recently because they haven't been here. We haven't seen the Select Mums all together in like a couple of episodes, so it was interesting to see them all back and for Christy to be the one being like, hey, guess what happened? And the fact that she baited herself out about calling Abby garbage, that's kind of crazy if you ask me. That's kind of crazy. So something that was completely cut out of Pyramid was the fact that Christy and Sarah were in it. You're going to see this a lot throughout the episode, but yeah, there was a lot cut out around them, I can't lie. Abby is elated to welcome back the Select team, but is surprised to see Christy. You're not welcome here, and you're not on the team, you know that. Abby rehashes the incident with Christy for everyone. The mums side with Abby. Christy should have the boot, but they plead to keep Sarah on the team without her. Abby gave Sarah the chance to come to the last competition without her mother, but she didn't. She is out of chances and off the team. Christy and Sarah leave the studio, but in an attempt to show their support, they decide to watch Pyramid from the viewing room. So not only is Abby sticking to her guns, she's saying, no, you're not on the team anymore, get out. But obviously they've been asked here to film by production. So they're kind of in an awkward position where they're like, well, we can't just leave because we're here to record. So we're going to go sit up in the viewing room and just stay there. It's also nice that the mums were like, no, let Sarah back on the team, please. She doesn't deserve this. But Abby's like, no, your parents' mistakes are your mistakes. Generational mistakes, am I right? So if you're wondering what Christy and Sarah got up to in that viewing room, well, let's just say they were praying the Abby away. Since Christy and Sarah were kicked out of the pyramid, they decide to watch from the viewing room. Sarah is upset and Christy comforts her. She thinks it will be wise for them to travel to the competition this weekend to show their support of the ALDC. They need to stay involved in relevant if they want to get back on the team. I mean, first of all, what is the phrasing of that last sentence? I read it out as it is written. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, moving on. The fact that they are willing to travel all the way to this competition just to show their support. They were obviously meant to go there as part of production, and they're being told, hey, you still need to come to the competition because we need you there for filming, etc., etc. It's just crazy to me that this whole thing is being framed as they're psycho stalker weirdos, and they're not at the end of the day. It's kind of funny, but also at the end of the day, it's also kind of sad. I feel really bad for Sarah in this situation. Sarah isn't naive. She knows that Abby is taking out her frustrations with her mother on her, and she doesn't think it's fair. She knows how some of the other mums have treated Abby in the past, and they weren't punished to this degree. Well, yes and no. You have to also realise that Christy doesn't have a permanent place on the team or on the show. So therefore, Abby can do what the fuck she wants. Do you know what I mean? She can be like, yeah, I'm not on the team this week. But obviously she does turn up to filming. Whereas with the other mums, she can suspend them maybe for a week, but production are going to want them back eventually. And they're not going to be able to be kicked off the team because production will be like, no, that's not happening. So there is a slight, disconnect between obviously the new mums, Christy, and the old team. But equally, Sarah, you're a kid. Chill out with your thoughts. Christy reassures Sarah that she is loved by Jesus and her family. Christy and Sarah join hands and the two bow their heads and pray that Abby will see the light and welcome them back on the team. Dear God, I pray that you let me back in that room with the monster that is Abby Lee Miller. Please, I want to punish my child even more. She is a sinner and I want her to pay for all of the sins of humanity. I don't know where I'm going with this. Do you know what I mean? Why would we pray for your daughter to go back in that room with that monster? Why? Why would you do that to yourself? That doesn't seem like something God is going to be willing to grant. He's probably sat up there thinking, nah, I ain't partaking in child cruelty. That ain't a bit of me, you know? If you've ever wondered whether the Ziegler favoritism is real, this kind of proves it, I can't lie. I didn't know this happened, but it did. And I'm not surprised. Abby calls out Chloe's name first, and before she's able to give a reason as to why she's on the bottom of the pyramid, Christy stops her. Why is Chloe on the bottom? You benched Kenzie and she didn't even dance. Kenzie's performance was her improv and you weren't happy with that. Abby feels like she has been backed into a corner and she reluctantly switches Mackenzie and Chloe's photos on the pyramid and proceeds. Aside from my dodgy accents, I think you get the grasp of what was going on there. Christy is pissed off because why is Chloe on the bottom of the pyramid when Mackenzie didn't even dance last week? What on earth are we doing here? And then you've got Jill and Holly being like, yeah, you know what? We agree with that, because what is this bullshit? What is this? What is going on here? Why are you being so ridiculously stupid? This is not okay. And honestly, I'm here for it. I'm here for them standing up for Chloe. And like, it's nothing against Mackenzie, but you didn't dance last week. So why are you above Chloe, who did dance, admittedly came 6th, but why are you above her? You shouldn't be. Bottom of the pyramid, Kenzie. Bottom of the pyramid. Yeah, this is going to be pretty damning for the people in the comment sections that are like, Maddie doesn't learn any dances before anybody else. Maddie never learns any dances before anyone else. She's just amazing. She learns it in like 20 minutes and she's perfect. Yeah, that's not what the production notes say. When Abby works with the select team, it appears that Maddie is teaching the elite girls their group number. America Gone. Abby thinks that they really need to play up the story of ethnicity in this dance since they have both Nia and Jade. I mean, first of all, playing up the ethnicity because you've got 2 remotely ethnic people in your group. Do we see where the problem lies with Abby? Yeah, this is not okay. This is not okay behavior. But you know what? It's Abby Lee Miller. We've seen worse from her. But the fact that they say, apparently, Maddie is teaching the elite team their dance. How does Maddie know the group dance before they've even learnt it? That's very interesting, don't you think? I mean, it's not like she could have learnt it in one of her privates last week because they knew it was coming up. Oh, no, that would never happen. That would never happen, surely. Well, it seems like the discussion around Maddie potentially already knowing and teaching the other kids the group dance for the week has become a popular conversation amongst the select ensemble mums. And let's just say, it's about to get catty. The mums notice that Maddie is teaching the girls the group number in the back of the studio. It looks like Mackenzie knows it already too. Everyone except for Christy is shocked. Why would the girls already know this number? Seems like an unfair advantage. Christy tries to warn the mums of the inequities at this studio. Not only will their group number be set up for failure this week, but so will Ava's solo. Abby refuses to let Maddie lose. I think this is a fantastic point. First of all, Abby obviously doesn't want Maddie to lose. We're going to see the amount that she goes to ensure that Ava loses this week. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the fact that Maddie and potentially Mackenzie already know it, that is potentially the most damning bit of evidence of this entire thing. The fact that they both are teaching the choreography, maybe not Mackenzie teaching, but Maddie is teaching everybody else the choreography in the group, is a little bit concerning, do you not think? Do you not think that that's an unfair advantage? Do we think that that's a step up, a leg up for the other people in that team over the people who are just having to learn it from scratch on the select ensemble team, including Chloe? It does seem a little bit unfair if you ask me. So, you might be wondering, what do Abby and Melissa have to say about this whole why does Maddie already know the group dance situation? Well, they both decide to have conflicting stories and it just makes this whole situation even worse. The elite mums head up to the viewing room and Christy immediately calls Melissa out. Why do Maddie and Mackenzie already know this group number? Without thinking, Melissa blurts out, they all do. It's an old recital number. Is it, Melissa? Is it, Melissa? Because if it was an old recital number, surely Nia would potentially remember a bit of it and would show some kind of, oh, I got it. And maybe Kendall as well. Kendall's not been here as long, but equally, surely Christy would recognize it. Surely Christy would. I'm sure that Christy would recognize it and would not be calling out Melissa if it was an old recital number. It feels a little bit cheeky and a little bit like, you know what, you're a liar, Melissa, you're a liar. Tracy addresses the fact that the elite team already knows their group dance. Abby denies it. She claims that the girls only know a combo, not the entire routine. When Jeanette chimes in and reveals that the elite mums are the ones who disclosed that information, Abby becomes irate. Shows how stupid they are. So, what is it, Abby? Do they know the entire dance like Melissa says because it's an old recital number? Or do they only know a combination? Because the two stories are not adding up. It seems like you and Melissa, you've got your wires crossed and you come up with two different stories to tell these people. And the story that I'm landing on is that Melissa has Maddie and Mackenzie in their privates and they already know it. So that's what I'm assuming is happening here. But then we have a plot twist. Abby refuses to admit it's a dance they already know, but Christy won't let her get away with that. It was a recital dance. All the kids, including Chloe, know it. The select mums are bewildered on why Abby would lie about that. Christy warns them to just get used to this. Abby loves to play mind games, and she can pretty much talk her way out of anything. The select mums listen to Christy's advice, but choose to stay positive. They have Chloe on their team this week, and she is an asset. I mean, it's pretty damn in evidence. So it was a recital number that they did, so therefore Maddie and Mackenzie might have just brushed up on it in their private, which is why it's at the forefront of their memory. Because I'm not being funny, these kids learn a lot of solos. I highly doubt that they would remember recital dance from years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's a little bit of a push to ask them to remember that and to have it so in the forefront of their memory that they're able to teach others it and brush up their skills on it as well. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like two truths can be the same thing at the same time. It was an old recital number, and also Maddie and Mackenzie have been doing this in their privates. You have to give credit where credit is due. Christy is an honest person, and you know her whole speech about giving the mums names? Well, she told Laurie last week that she thought she was boring Laurie, and this week she's about to tell all the other mums what she thinks of them. The select mums heard that the elite mums did a lot of crap talking about them while Laurie was around, and they can't wait to ask Christy about it. Christy doesn't hesitate to admit that they did make up nicknames for all of them, and laughs as she shares them with the mums. Jeanette is especially offended by her nickname, Count Stalkula. She is tired of the mums calling her a stalker. Christy stands by what her and the elite mums think, and an argument ensues. She is a stalker. She is so desperate to be on the team that she has been following them around for years. Jeanette admits that she wants Abby to see Ava's improvement, which is why they do attend the same competitions. She looks at it as determination, not stalking. I mean, the funniest part of this is Jeanette getting her back up about Count Stalkula, but do we not remember how she appeared out of thin air at that competition in season 3 and was like, hey, do you want to watch my daughter dance? That was the craziest thing in the world. You just appeared out of nowhere. I have no clue who you are at that point, and you just were there. So what's going on there? What's going on, Jeanette? And then you came in and reamed everyone out. Of course you Count Stalkula. Okay, we could have called you far worse. You got off quite lightly. So Abby takes a trip up the stairs to go see the Select Ensemble mums and Christy, and a certain other person tries to worm their way in. Christy walks up behind Abby and takes a seat with the mums, and everyone is shocked to see her, especially Abby. Abby attempts to continue giving each mum a critique about their daughter, but it becomes increasingly difficult as Christy's voice gets louder, trying to wedge Sarah's name into the mix. When Christy starts to throw the mums under the bus yet again, they all pounce on her at once. She don't help herself, does she, Christy, bless her? She don't help herself. We're sat in this situation where the mums are getting critiques from their daughter, and you're like, but Sarah, though. But Sarah, what about Sarah? What are your critiques for Sarah? What are your thoughts on Sarah? She ain't dancing this week, bestie. She ain't dancing. And it's so obvious that this is producer influenced. It's so obvious. But it's also so funny. Just seeing her keep popping up every couple of pages on the production notes was really entertaining. And it really did make me chuckle while I was preparing this video. Christy screams, Abby, please tell these mums to leave. And Abby is so fed up that she leaves the viewing room. Christy calls out Christy for lying. She's so sick of Christy throwing everyone under the bus in an attempt to kiss Abby's butt. The argument turns into a yelling match, and for once, Christy has nothing to say to defend herself, so she gets up and leaves. God bless you guys. Again, it's just a really, really funny moment. The fact that Christy is able to shut down Christy so eloquently and so sort of like, to the point where she has to walk out of the room and just say, God bless you. That's literally all she's got to say at this point. And you know what? Fair and valid. Sometimes you have to just say things and it will get them to shut up. So apparently there is no loyalty between the original Elite mums, and I have to say, Jill, you're not looking particularly good right now. The Elite mums stop at the front desk to chat with Abby, and they are joined by Christy. The mums question why she is still here. Didn't Abby tell her to leave? Everyone, including Abby, bickers back and forth with Christy. Abby demands to know which one of them told the select team that their girls already knew their group number. Jill throws Christy under the bus, even though everyone knows it was Melissa who spilled the beans. Abby is sticking with her story. Gianna taught them a combo. This isn't a dance that they've done in the past. Abby, I think you would get a lot less flack on this show if you just told the truth. There's no point lying. We've now had 2 of the mums be like, yeah, it's a recital dance. And be like, ask the kids. They know it. They know it, okay? So you being like, oh, it's just a combo that they were taught by Gianna. Is it? Because I'm fairly certain if we were to go back and look at your recital videos, we'd probably find this dance at some point, wouldn't we? Wouldn't we? Okay? So maybe we should pipe down. Maybe we should. So this is where I get a little bit confused, because Abby is asking them to represent a country in the dance about America Gone. I'm a little bit confused by this, and I can understand why it was cut out of the episode because I don't think it makes much sense, but let's try and make some sense out of this. Abby has each girl choose a country they want to represent in the group number. Nia chooses Spain, Jade chooses Asia, Maddie chooses Hungary, Kendall chooses Italy, and Mackenzie chooses Sweden. Let's break this down a little bit, okay? Because if I'm being 100% honest, there's something dodgy going on here. Jade chose Asia. She was asked for a country, and she chose a continent. Is this the American school system failing her? I don't know. I really don't. I mean, geography is not y'all's strong point. That's all I've learned off of TikTok. But other than that, just confusing. Maddie choosing Hungary. Now that's a rogue pick. That's a random pick. On the list of European countries, Hungary is not in the top 10, okay? You think like the UK, I would think France, Spain, Portugal, Germany. That's the top 5. And Italy even, okay? That's top 6. Then you got probably Belgium, Sweden, Norway, okay? Probably Switzerland I would choose. And then I would go Austria. And then Hungary's like quite far down the list. I don't think I would immediately go to there. Mwahaha! It is the return of Count Stalker. Yeah, that wasn't very funny. I'm sorry, guys. Let's just talk about Jeanette being Count Stalker. Jeanette confronts Jill and Melissa on rumours that they have been calling her a stalker. She is sick of it, and it's a ridiculous accusation. Jill and Melissa think that it's an accurate observation. She follows them around everywhere. Just admit it. Everyone wants a piece of the ALDC. Jeanette defends herself. They can call it stalking, but she calls it determination, and it got her here, so obviously it worked. All the stalker talk has gotten the mums fired up, and Laurie tries to calm everyone down. They came here to resolve an issue, not create more drama. I mean, listen, the more you deny that you're a stalker and you're just determined, makes you sound like a stalker. I'm sorry, you are a little bit of a stalker. Little bit of a stalker. Just a little bit. I mean, your determination is very valiant, don't get me wrong, but I feel like determination is a very valuable asset to a stalker. Are we being serious? Come on. Stalkers are not undetermined. If anything, they are the most determined people in society. So guys, I know you've been waiting for this moment, but it's time for the Dud Muffin to strike back. No, this is not a Lost Star Wars sequel. This is Jodie standing up for herself for some reason. The mums discuss nationals. Melissa would prefer if Abby just took one big team instead of 2. 2 teams will be a total disaster. When the mums chat about which girls they predict will have solos, Jill voices that it wouldn't be fair if Cameron got one over Chloe. Jodie overhears her and her daughter's name, so she decides to confront the mums in the viewing room. Jodie defends herself and her daughter. She thinks Cameron is absolutely deserving of solo at nationals. The mums can't help but laugh. They send her on her way after making sure she knows they didn't actually speak her name. They only refer to her as a dud muffin. So what I'm seeing here is the fact that Jodie's like, I heard my name. And they're like, we've only called you dud muffin. That's hilarious. That's absolutely ridiculous and so funny. But also, does Cameron really deserve a solo at nationals? No, she got beat by Chloe. So if we're talking about who deserves it here, it's probably going to be Chloe, let's be honest. I mean, she did lose against Jade last week, let's be honest. But equally, Cameron lost to Chloe. So in the totem pole, in the pecking order, Cameron's quite far down. I don't think she should be getting anything for free, you know. Guys, Count Stalker, she's back again. She's back for blood. And honestly, this time, I'm scared. I'm scared. This is like the Dracula sequel that nobody wanted. Dracula 2, the rebiting. Christy shares with the mums how crazy Jeanette gets when anyone refers to her as a stalker. The mums all joke about Jeanette being a stalker and maybe even a sociopath. Just then, the mums have another surprise guest. This time, it's Jeanette. She confronts them on calling her a stalker. The mums stand by what they said. They see her everywhere, and she knows a little too much about their personal lives. Jeanette tries to defend herself, but Jill shuts her down. Who was the one lurking in the hallway listening to what we were saying before marching up here? All signs point to a stalker. I think the more of a defense that she puts up against being a stalker, the more I believe that she actually is a stalker. I mean, it's not looking good for your bestie, so maybe we should just pipe down, let bygones be bygones, and just be like, yeah, ha ha ha, I'm a stalker. The funniest thing is, if you just accepted that you were a stalker and started making the jokes yourself, the mums would lose interest very quickly, okay? That's classic. If you don't want a joke being said about you, joke about it yourself, because then it's no longer funny. So I have to say, the production notes do give Christy and Chloe a lot of credit for how they handled the change this week of being on a new team. So let's talk about this little moment between Christy and Chloe. Christy and Chloe take a moment to chat outside. This has been an interesting week for Chloe with being on the new team. Chloe reveals she actually feels relaxed this week and likes her new teammates. She didn't really give them a chance before, but being on their team has changed her mind about them. Christy is proud to hear how mature Chloe is handling Abby's curveball of putting her on the new team. It's actually so sweet that she's this sort of like, yeah, I'm happy. I'm actually having a really good time. I feel relaxed. They're actually really lovely. And to handle such a curveball as like dancing with a brand new team of people that you've never ever danced with before, it's tough. But Chloe seems to be handling it really well. And you know what? Good on her. I'm really proud of her. Maddie did it a couple of weeks ago and she proved that she could do it, so that was great. And now Chloe's doing it and proving that she can do it as well. So something that wasn't made explicitly clear in the episode is that the select mums and the elite mums were both on the same bus together. And let's just say, before the bus is even set off, there was some drama that arose. It's the day before the big competition and the first time the select team will be riding the bus. The select mums are the first to load on the bus and they get settled unknowingly in the elite mums' seats. Holly is the first of the elite team to get on the bus, and when she sees the select mums in their seats, she waves her finger, Holly Bronx style, and demands they move. The select mums reluctantly move so the elite mums can take their spots. I mean, we've seen some iconic moments before where I think Jill was like, out of my seat, out of my seat. That was ridiculous. But now the fact that Holly's doing it, I mean, listen, they've been riding this bus for years and years. They have their spots. You have your spots. You have your preferred spot on the bus because you know, well, that bit doesn't work. That aircon doesn't work, so I'm not going to sit there. The seat is uncomfortable on that one, so I'm not going to sit there. So this is my preferred spot. I'm not sitting in a dodgy seat because we're going to be here for hours. This is your first time on the bus. You get the leftover seats. Just when you least expect it, Christy jumps out and she scares you with her cross. The ALDC has an unexpected guest. It's Christy and Sarah, who is sporting her ALDC jacket. Jeanette is horrified. How dare Christy barge in like this? She's interrupting Ava's time to prep for her solo. Christy claims her and Sarah are only here to support their team, not to upset anyone. I mean, the fact that she's even at the competition is hysterical. Because who turns up to a competition that they're not competing in just to support their team? Obviously, this is to do with production, but it's just so funny and it makes Christy look like such a mug. I'm so sad that these moments were cut out of the episode because they were absolutely hysterical to read. Abby goes to Sarah, unzips her ALDC jacket and removes it, only to find that she is wearing an ALDC shirt underneath. Christy points out that she is still supporting the ALDC even without the jacket. In fact, Abby can take the shirt too, because underneath that is an ALDC sports bra. I mean, another hysterical moment. She's basically undressing this child. This is Abby, and she's just finding more merch. More merch. More merch. It's like, oh my goodness, this is hysterical. This is incredible to watch. She's like, I'm taking this jacket off of you. Oh God, you're still repping the ALDC. Oh God, what am I meant to do now? It's like Christy thought of everything. She was like, I know she's going to take that jacket, so make sure she has a shirt underneath as well. Jeanette pushes to get Christy out so Ava can focus. You're the Stalker now. Christy and Jill chime in. Jeanette can't just pass the Stalker torch. Now, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? Yes, that is the pot calling the kettle black. I mean, come on. Let's be honest. It is. The more that Count Stalkula tries to rid herself of the Stalker title, the more it just makes her sound like she's projecting onto other people. And it is really, really funny to watch. Okay, I'm sorry, Jeanette, but you got the nickname Count Stalkula for a reason. So, during the practice in the dressing room, the umbrella prop that Ava has starts to fall apart, and yeah, this is not looking particularly good. During Ava's run-through, it appears that her umbrella is falling apart. Jeanette tries to tell Abby she doesn't think the umbrella will hold up throughout the performance, but Abby doesn't want to hear it, and she yells at Jeanette to figure it out. Luckily, Jeanette has another one on standby, but it's not stoned like the original umbrella. So this is kind of explaining what you guys were telling me in the comment section about, oh, did you notice that in the middle of her dance, it switches from being a stoned one to a non-stoned one? And I was like, I didn't notice that. I did not notice that at all. But it is interesting that even in the dressing room, the umbrella was starting to fall apart. And maybe that's because we should be dancing with umbrellas because they're not exactly the most stable of items to dance with. Did you think Christy was gone? No, she's still here. She is still here, and she is sat in that auditorium waiting for the ALDC to arrive. The girls get backstage, and waiting for them is Sarah H. Sarah makes it a point to wish each soloist good luck, showing her team spirit. The ALDC enters the auditorium for the solo performances and are shocked to find Christy sitting in Abby's seat. Abby demands that she moves, and Christy makes a snide comment. The junk in the trunk has gotten smaller, but her head has gone poof. Is she having a stroke? Because what's that about? What? The junk in the trunk may have gotten smaller, but her head has gone poof. What are we talking about? What are we doing here? Christy, I sometimes feel like you open your mouth and words just fall out in a predetermined order and they make no sense. What is this? Is this a Bible passage? Is this like Leviticus 17:3? Like, I don't know what you are trying to tell me right now. Can you please explain yourself? After a heated argument between Abby and Christy, she reluctantly gets up and this time tries to sit with the select mums. The select mums are not having it either. They plead with innocent bystanders to create a blockade so she can't get through. Finally, Christy throws in the towel and takes a seat away from the mums and Abby. If I was Christy and innocent bystanders are blocking my way to get where I need to go because the team that I want to sit with dislike me that much, I think it would be time to call it quits. I think I'd have to, because what am I doing at this point? What am I actually doing? Because I'm not messing about with this anymore. I can't be bothered. If you don't want me here, you don't want me here. Fine, chill, is what it is. I'm not going to be making a mug out of myself on national television. Although, let's be honest, none of this aired, so really, did it come back to bite her in the ass? Nah, not really. So, did you think the umbrella was going to stay fixed? No. It just gets worse from here. Backstage, Ava discovers that her umbrella is broken. She makes a last-minute decision to use her backup umbrella, even though this isn't one decorated. Please note, this was shot as a pickup scene. Her first dance was shot with the decorated umbrella, which broke on stage. She used the backup umbrella during cleans, and it also broke on stage, completely turning inside out. She nervously turns to the other girls and asks for their advice. She is worried that if she takes the stage with the undecorated umbrella, Abby will be upset. So not only has Ava already gone out and performed, but the umbrella is broken now, okay? And then she has to go out again with another umbrella and it breaks again. So maybe we shouldn't be choreographing a dance in which the umbrella seems to be breaking a lot, okay? That's now twice in one day. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I did like the little production notes being like, hey, this is actually a pickup scene. This moment was shot after she'd already performed once. So just an interesting little tidbit for you guys. The girls tried to comfort her. She has no choice at this point. She has to use the backup umbrella. Ava is the first solo to take the stage. Everything seems to be going just fine until halfway through her performance when her umbrella turns completely inside out. Ava continues to dance through her performance like nothing has happened, just like she was trained to do. Abby is absolutely horrified and her jaw drops to the floor as she watches dance with an inside out umbrella. Backstage, Ava is in a panic. Her umbrella broke and she is dreading how Abby will react. Please note this was fallout from the first performance, but can play as fallout from the cleans. So again, there's some selective editing going on. Obviously, they're noting select things that could be used in certain scenarios, and it's a nice way to work out what the editing idea was for this kind of moment. Because when this happens, it gives them a lot of footage to play with and to have fun. Something I wasn't expecting from this episode and from the production notes was Abby actually giving Maddie some critiques. The girls enter the dressing room and Abby grabs Maddie and pulls her in for a big hug to congratulate her on a job well done. Abby points out that one of Maddie's turns was off-center. She also wishes she was more flexible and that her releve was higher. Always room for improvement, but overall she did an outstanding job. Now, this might not seem like much, but as someone who has always said that Maddie deserves to be critiqued more because she isn't perfect, this was a nice moment to go, okay, cool. Abby does critique her. It might just be cut out of the episode. And do you know what? I hold my hands up. Fair enough. So, you guys don't think I could end the video without one final appearance from Christy and Sarah? No. I've got some more juicy gossip for you guys. I hope you guys are excited. Christy and Sarah make one last appearance in the dressing room before the day is over. Christy calls them out. Why was Sarah on stage for awards? The MC said all dancers take the stage. Sarah didn't dance today. That was Melissa, by the way, not Christy. Christy is livid that Christy and Melissa would make such rude comments. According to her, Sarah is still part of this team. Christy's rude behaviour is all too familiar. Isn't this what got her kicked out in the first place? Has she learnt nothing? The mums have had the final straw when Christy says she stands by calling Abby garbage and they kick her out of the dressing room and lock the door. I mean, iconic first of all. She's standing up for the fact that Abby is garbage, which is the most important thing after all. And secondly, this is genuinely a very disappointing moment for Christy and for Melissa. Sarah is still part of the team. She might not dance with them, but like, if she's there and the kids want her to come on stage and celebrate their win, let them. It literally doesn't matter. It does not change anything at the end of the day. Why are we making this into a big deal? But then again, this is Christy and Melissa we're talking about. So anyway, that is all we've got time for today. That was 22 crazy moments that you missed in season 4, episode 25. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hype the video. Oh god, it's just so embarrassing to have to say that now, isn't it? But the good news is, guys, that my videos have been getting onto the hype leaderboard, which is actually really, really cool. It's actually kind of crazy, I can't lie. But either way, super happy. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best fans in the world. And other than that, thank you guys, and I will see you guys in the next episode, whenever that may be. But until then, make sure to keep on ranting, and I'll see you guys later. Bye now. See ya.